Hi guys, cinematic recap here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a Japanese science fiction movie, called Gantz. The main character of this film is Kei Kurano, a college student who prepares for a job interview. While waiting at the subway station, he sees a familiar face, which turns out to be his childhood friend, Cato, but the two have not spoken for a long time. After a while, a drunk man suddenly falls onto the subway tracks, but everyone just stands there as they wait for someone to help him. Because of that, Cato decides to jump off onto the subway tracks and immediately helps the drunken man. While asking others for help, he notices Kei and enlists his help, but Kei pretends not to know him. Cato desperately pushes the man up by himself as the train swiftly comes towards him. Seeing this, Kei offers his hand to help Cato, but he falls instead, and both of them end up getting hit by the train. Surprisingly, the two manage to survive and find themselves in a room where there is a large black sphere. Not only that, they also find some people there, but no one talks, instead staring at them. The two attempt to find a way out by checking the doors and windows, but everything is locked, and a man informs them that there is no way out. After that, Cato confronts Kei for ignoring him on the subway, but Kei claims that he did not see him, and Cato ends up forgiving him. While the two are wondering how can they be alive in this room, the others tell them the same thing, that they also died and somehow woke up in this room. A few moments later, the large black sphere suddenly lights up, forming a female body in front of them, but she is naked and soaking wet. Another man informs Kei and Cato that they appeared the exact same way earlier. Cato immediately puts his jacket on the woman while stopping a man who wants to harass her. Shortly after, the large black sphere plays a weird song, causing everyone in the room to be confused, except for a young man wearing a hoodie. It then tells them that they were dead and have been brought back to life, but it is controlling their current lives. After that, it orders them to kill a creature called the Onion Alien. It suddenly pops open with guns and armors on the sides, and all of them are shocked to see an unconscious man sitting inside the sphere. Meanwhile, Kei finds a suitcase labeled with his name on the back of the sphere and tells the others to get their own. They find combat suits inside their own suitcase. After finding her suitcase, Cato finally learns that the woman's name is Kishimoto. He then suggests her to put on her combat suit since she was naked by the time she got here. As they try to figure out what is happening, all of their bodies suddenly disappear and a timer appears on the sphere, counting down from 20 minutes. All of them are transported elsewhere and deduce that now they can go home. However, the young man wearing a hoodie introduces himself as Nishi and claims that they are in a reality show funded by his father. He also claims that whoever completes the mission will win a prize of $100,000. Kei spots the alien from a distance and Nishi claims that it is their first target to kill. With the motivation to win a fantastic amount of money, most of them immediately go after the alien, except for Kei, Cato, and Kishimoto. They eventually corner the Onion Alien in a garage, where most of them shoot the alien using their guns, causing it to explode everywhere. As they celebrate their success, Cato also joins them. Suddenly, another tall creature appears behind them, which turns out to be the alien's father. Enraged, the Onion Alien grabs one of them while killing all of them instantly, except Cato. At the same time, Kei is looking for the others when he hears screams from the garage. He then checks the garage, only to find Cato backing away in fear of the alien. Luckily, Cato is saved by Kishimoto, who tackles the alien, sending it flying to the wall. However, the alien quickly recovers and sends Kei and Kishimoto flying to the wall, but Kishimoto is unharmed thanks to her combat suit. On the other hand, Kei hides in fear in the back of a car while checking his suitcase, but his combat suit is not there. Therefore, he uses the suitcase to hit the alien's head when he has the chance. As the alien lets out a terrifying roar, Nishi suddenly appears from a distance and shoots a wire at the alien, paralyzing it. He then tells Kei to finish the alien, but Kei does not have the guts for it, so Nishi shoots the alien instead. The alien explodes, just before they are teleported back to the same room. Nishi then states that there are more survivors than usual, indicating that everyone who died earlier is not teleported back to the room. He also informs them that the large black sphere is referred as Gantz. A few moments later, they are surprised to see that the old man, whose name is Suzuki, managed to survive as well. Seeing this, Nishi explains that even they are bleeding to death, they will be okay as long as they are alive. When the countdown ends, Gantz finally reveals their scores and gives Nishi 5 points for killing the alien, but nothing for the rest of the team. Hence, Kei demands him an explanation, and Nishi explains that their mission is to kill the aliens. He also shows them the photos of people who died in the Gantz's missions, and that all of their information is kept inside its database. Knowing this, Cato yells at Nishi because he thinks that Nishi could have helped them, but Nishi calls him a hypocrite and takes his hands off him. To save his friend, Kei points a gun at Nishi, but their fight stops when Gantz suddenly emits a bright light and teleports them away. Later, Kei wakes up in his room and wonders whether everything was only a dream. When he goes back to the subway station, he sees a note about his train accident. Confused by all of these realities, he cannot concentrate on his activities that day because he is still thinking about the incident last night. In the meantime, his classmate, Kojima, secretly draws him, indicating that the girl has a crush on Kei. After school, Kei searches Cato's address in his yearbook, but when he comes to the address, he only finds a parking lot. He then recalls the place where they fought the aliens and decides to go there. As he sees the damages to the area caused by their battle, Kishimoto arrives and greets him, and to his surprise, she has the combat suit on her bag. Kei eventually offers to walk her home, but she asks him if she can stay at his house for the night, and he obviously accepts. Once there, Kishimoto shares that she lives with her boyfriend, but she just recently broke up with him. As a result, she slit her wrist while taking a shower. It turns out that Kishimoto is still carrying Cato's jacket, and a diary suddenly falls out of it. After reading it, Kei finally finds his address and learns that Cato is actually on parole. On the other side, Cato wakes up from his sleep after having a nightmare about the alien's death. When his brother comforts him, he hears a loud screech and sees himself slowly disappearing in the mirror. He then appears in the same room again along with the previous survivors, but this time with 3 new players. Not long after, Gantz gives them a new mission to kill a creature named Tanaka alien. Cato attempts to tell everyone to put on their combat suit, but the new players are shocked by what just happened. Gantz starts to teleport them one by one to a parking lot, but the grandma and her grandson are teleported first and encounter the Tanaka alien, who kills them both instantly with its laser mouth. Kei arrives in his mid-teleportation and is horrified when he sees their dead bodies. At the same time, the Tanaka alien prepares to shoot him while his arm and gun are still in Gantz's room. Fortunately, he manages to survive the blast after countering the laser beam using his gun in the right time. After that, the alien shoots to the side and gets a direct hit on Nishi, who is currently hiding. It then flies towards him and descends, causing them to fall into the lower floor. It starts to beat him up and destroys his combat suit. Thus, Cato decides to help him by throwing the alien away and then squeezing it until its body crashed. The team approaches a dying Nishi who tells Kei to get 100 points so he can resurrect him. Suddenly, the alien recovers and punches Cato from behind before attacking the entire group. Cato tries to shield Kishimoto as the alien wants to attack her. After knocking them away, the alien goes after Kei and punches him repeatedly, but his combat suit suddenly lights up, allowing him to punch the alien away. When the two fight in the car, the alien powers up to blast Kei, but he manages to grab his gun and shoots its mouth, killing the alien. The others are soon transported to Gantz's room, except for Kei, whose limbs were ripped off from the explosion. Cato is hysterical as he cannot find Kei in the room, but luckily, Kei kills the alien before their time runs out, allowing him to be teleported back to the room in one piece. Afterwards, Gantz announces their scores, and everyone does not get a single point, except for Kei, who receives 7 points from the mission. He asks Gantz what will happen if he gets 100 points, and it replies that he will have the option of resurrecting someone or setting himself free with his memories wiped. The following day, Kei wakes up in his room with his combat suit on. Because of this, he decides to practice using it while preparing for his next mission, but Kojima suddenly calls him to meet up. They eventually meet at a coffee shop, where Kojima shows him the manga she made, depicting Kei as the superhero. Elsewhere, Kishimoto goes to Cato's house to return his jacket. As the two share their respective thoughts, it is revealed that Cato killed his father because he often beat his little brother. This is also the main reason for him to survive on the upcoming missions. At night, the survivors are transported back to Gantz's room along with the new players. Gantz also gives them a new mission to kill a Buddha-looking alien called the ill-tempered alien. Since Cato does not want to see any more deaths, he persuades everyone in the room, particularly the new players, to wear the combat suits, but a monk who is a newcomer discourages them as he claims that Cato is a devil's advocate. Before they can fight further, Gantz teleports them to the front of a temple where they find 2 statues. The team proceeds to examine the statues, and to their horror, the statue on the right comes to life and turns out to be the ill-tempered alien. It starts stomping the group as they attempt to flee. The monk runs into the temple to look for shelter, and when he prays, a multiple-armed statue suddenly moves towards him. Meanwhile, the others surround the alien and begin shooting it simultaneously, but it manages to dodge some of their shots. At one point, K manages to slide down and shoots the alien in the leg. He then shoots its chest, eventually killing the ill-tempered alien. When they think that they have finished their mission, the timer resets, indicating that there is another alien. Sure enough, they see one of their teammates come out from the temple, badly injured and near death. Cato, and Kishimoto come inside to the temple and arrive in a room full of statues, where they find the monk's dead body. Suddenly, the multi-armed statue attacks K from behind, stabbing him multiple times with its arms. Fortunately, Cato drags his body away and tells Kishimoto to look after K as he chooses to fight the alien by himself, but he ends up getting overwhelmed. When the alien wants to finish him off, Kishimoto sacrifices herself to protect Cato, getting impaled by its swords. She tells Cato to survive the mission before dying in his arms. Furious, Cato charges to the alien, but he still does not stand a chance to defeat it. Seeing that all of his friends are seriously injured, K regains power from his combat suit and takes the gun nearby after realizing that he cannot beat it in close combat. He fires his gun at the alien, but it can block his attack with its swords. It then drops a small Buddha statue on the floor, which rapidly grows into a giant, breaking through the ceiling of the temple. K manages to dodge its attacks, while Cato uses his remaining strength to toss a gun at K. He then shoots the Buddha's arm, destroying it while running closer to its head. As the giant swallows him, K uses the opportunity to shoot a few blasts from his gun, causing the giant to explode. He then checks on Cato, but he is quickly teleported back to Gantz's room, while Cato remains unconscious. K meets the remaining survivors in the room, but he cannot find his friends, so he asks Gantz to show him the list of casualties. Cato's face appears on the screen, which verifies his death. He immediately orders Gantz to resurrect Cato, but apparently, he only gets 20 points in total. Therefore, K becomes depressed and returns to the real world, where he no longer has the will to live his life, even though Kojima is always by his side. He eventually goes back to the subway station and decides to commit suicide, but he changes his decision at the last second and gets help from Kojima, who finally says that she likes him and pleads him not to die. Realizing that there are still people who love him, K determines to fight with his remaining teammates to resurrect all his dead friends. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.